The technology is meant for the big players and not for the smaller ones. Or maybe they are more worried about the affordability.
Indian market is really sensitive.
Why do you think the granite market is diminishing, or the popularity of the Indian granite is not so much profound as it used to be in the past?
It's tough for me.
What excites you most when you establish a communication with a client acoustic?
Okay, our mission is not sell the machines.
Ciao Massimo. So here we have Massimo from Prometec with his 3 decadal experience on the natural stone industry pertaining to processing of marble, granite, and quartzite. We are very happy to have you here
Thank you to
at
have
the
me.
Gimco headquarters. So we are just trying to recollect the journey with both the entities, Prometec and Gimco. We have a small questionnaires or something like insights, which we feel like they are more profound and important for Indian stone industry, both technologically and as well as for the industry perspective too. So before we go there, I would like to understand. Prometec is one of the Gimco's earliest international partners.
Yeah.
What was it about Gimco that gave you the confidence in the relationship from the beginning?
From the beginning, okay, Gimco show us the passion for this kind of job, and then during the year, the knowledge that achieved was for us important in order to cover properly all Indian market. In sense that now Gimco is able to manage complete Indian market from the beginning. So I mean the sales of the lines to reach the end point of the commissioning of the machine. So means that during this year, Gimco have acquired a know-how to to follow from the beginning to the end of the life the line without any problem.
Thanks for that, and thanks to the people, the mentorship from people like Carlo Belle, Alessio, Mr. Roberto Pucci, and you all with the service team also who vested that trust. Now, I would like to dig a bit more deeper. Now, it has been close to 5, 6 years that you are closely following the Indian market pertaining to the business development. Could you please share your experience and the insights, what you observed in Europe over the past 2 decades, the technological transformation or the industry transformation, and then where do you think India is standing as a whole, and what are all the prospective chances, or what should be a roadmap for the Indian stone industry be like for the next decade?
Okay, at the end, Indian market follow more or less the same trade that have followed the rest of the market, starting from the Italy. In sense that for our lines, the Indian market, when we start this experience, require simple lines, and but in any case, have ever request the technology in order to be on the time like the other top market in the world. So now India I can consider one of the top market. For sure is divided in let me say big company that are more sensitive probably to the the necessity to introduce the technology in the production process, and other company that is less sensitive of this matter. In any case, I saw a big step ahead also in the Indian market, come as the rest in the rest of the market that I follow strictly.
So there is normally when we reach the customers or when you visit the Indian factories, be it a small or the big, there is a notion or an assumption. So many people consider the technology is meant for the big players and not for the smaller ones. Or maybe they are more worried about the affordability. Do you think like the direction in which the market is assuming with these presumptions, is it a right thing? Or if it is not right, how is that we need to start to cater to that change in their thought process?
No, the quality is not strictly linked for the dimension of the company and even to the production, in sense that the quality is a request from the current market. So means that even if the company has not big dimensions, or even if the production that the target production that request the companies is less than the production that required the biggest company, the quality must be the same, in sense that for our opinion, for our let me say philosophy, technology is one of the way to guarantee the same quality of the product during the life of the lines. So means that if I introduce in the lines, in the machines, in everything in our project technology, means that I can manage strictly let me say the variable that the production have. So I can control properly the production. So the quality is strictly linked to the technology that I've used in the lines.
What sort of change the association between Gimco and Prometec initiated way back in 2013, and then it was established, and then we started to cooperate since 2014 officially. So what do you think before 2014 and after 2014, what sort of change did Prometec really brought into the Indian stone industry? Was it nothing, or did we brought any phenomenal change in adapting, in making the clients, the Indian customers adapt the technology and then try to elevate the quality? Means, was there, do you think like, was there any major change which has been contributed through the knowledge of Prometec and as well as the expertise and of a Gimco as well? What is your opinion on this?
My opinion is that what we have developed since 2014, so means that of course was even for logistic reason start from the Italian market, was kept also for the Indian market, and let me say not so slowly was introduced in the Indian market. Means that Indian market is really sensitive for every technology that can guarantee the control of the cycle. So the step ahead that we noticed in this whole year was very, very, very huge.
Very huge. Where do you think we are still standing as a market as a whole? I mean, why do you think the granite market is diminishing, or the popularity of the Indian granite is not so much profound as it used to be in the past? What else do you think could be possibly added, and what needed to be added if you have to suggest something?
Okay. um, okay, during this year, the technology at the end have allowed us to process material that in the past was impossible process. Some type of marble was in the past impossible process. Now we are able to process without, let me say, particular problem. Quartzite is same history. So now the challenge in the granite, due to the fact that it have a future that in the past was the principal reason that use it everywhere. I suppose that can be interesting discover if with the new technology is possible process granite with the small thickness, in sense that
10 mm.
yes, 10 mm or less than 10 mm. So now there are technology that permit us to cut, so transform the block in thin slabs, and then we have technology, and we have patent one system to do this. Technology that can glue the thin slabs on the kind of support, can be honeycomb or other, in a safely way, in sense that the process is controlled, and guarantee us that the the glue of two parts of the slabs has been made in the proper way, without any doubt that there is no friction between the two different parts. So this is probably his new challenge. We try to follow this way in order to see if also the market follows us.
So to make the market follow, for sure, Prometec has got that knowledge and the know-how to lead it from the front. When you mentioned the thin slabs in the granite, now there are new technologies very much available, which are going to assure us to cut in the thin formats. But do you think it is a concern for the existing players in the granite industry in India, where they're upstream and the downstream? Because upstream, post cutting, do you think the handling is going to be a major concern for the people to adapt to such technologies? And having not been able to see in advance and then not able to adapt material handling systems in the most automated available, do you think it's time, and then are you ready to even help, irrespective of other brands, to extend any support to the Indian market to upgrade their material handling systems?
Yeah, for sure. Our experience developing during this year, for sure, push us to improve many system in order to be sure to load handling generally all materials. So even the thin material will be supported from that technology, so we can for sure allow the company to handle this kind of material, even if this material is, let me say, not strong enough, is a little bit fragile than normal. But we can do it for sure.
What about the quality? When you see granite, when you see the marble, when you see the quartzite, in the last couple of years, we had seen a phenomenal growth in the Indian quarries. I mean, we are finding very exotic materials. So, do you think are you completely satisfied to see the level of quality, or do you still think like there is further a lot of scope for further development and enhancements in order to elevate the quality of the Indian stone processing?
We are never satisfied, of course, but
Like,
for sure, what we have done in the past year is a great job. We reach quality in kind of material that is impressive if we think when we start with the process, how is the state of this kind of material. So we are able to reach now such quality that in the past was dreaming, no? So yes, in this sense, we are satisfied.
if I ask you a few things, what excites you and what concerns you when you walk into a stone factory or any business meeting? What excites you most when you establish a communication with a client across the table?
Okay, our mission is not sell the machines. Our mission is try to provide for the client the best system to achieve what finally is required. So for us means the target production that the client ask without compromise of quality. This is what is the real challenge that push us to try to develop a new system, new solution, and try to follow the request of the client.
I shouldn't ask this question, you coming from Italy, but it's always we all get very fascinated when we see the quality norms or the way the Italian stone processors try to maintain. Do you think there is a big scope for the Indian processors to surpass that quality? And if we have to, what would be your advice or suggestion, or what sort of direction the Indian industry should look?
This is a good question and big question.
Complicated.
Yes, but in any case, we, of course, as the producer of lines, machines in generally, what we can do is provide the technology to get the result that the client and the customer ask. Okay, then there is a big percentage that divide this point from reach the highest point that you can reach with the same technology. So what I mean is that the big part, of course, of the great result that the company can achieve is strictly linked also to the knowledge that every client, every technician, every people put in the job. So yes, why not?
So the technology remains the same. Means as Prometec, the technology what you are supplying in Italy is exactly the same what is being
Exactly.
supplied to India. You are enabling across the globe on the equal lines. What as per you, or what could be your possible advice or a suggestion which you could extend, which the market can take or receive to ensure they can elevate the quality?
Big passion, Santhosh.
Passion. If you have to define it.
No, in every kind of job is important be stimulated to go ahead, no, and don't stop when you achieve the first good result. So what I say that of course the same machine can be used in many way to get the final result. The skills is very important.
So, is the skills of man or the machine which
Skills,
matters most?
man,
Man.
of course.
What do you call? What do you
The
look at
machine,
the
sorry, the
machine?
machine serve the man.
Machines serve the man. So, can I assume Prometec in its future roadmap are evaluating the possibility of machines having the capability to think?
Yeah, in such way, yes. In sense that, of course, we try to open to be open also to develop such machine that can be integrated with AI. That at the end the AI will be the experience that and the skills that the man can provide. So yes, for sure the our system becoming
More smart.
every day more smart. Yes,
Again, to help the individual
of course,
for his job to become easier.
exactly.
Most of the European players or the technology suppliers, all these years, I mean, even they always consider, I mean, India as a very price sensitive market. Why do you think being price sensitive while choosing a product or a machine, where do you think the core fundamental factors are going missing when the market is compromising only looking at one aspect of the price? Where can they possibly go wrong when they only look at the price? Because for me, the stone is a stone. In the marble industry, the blocks come from same Italy, Statuario, Carrara, or Botticino, or the Volacas white from the Greece, or the Michelangelo from Portugal. What is working out for the European companies or the rest of the companies in Turkey who has adapted a lot of technology? And then when it comes to India, there are in lakhs of metric tons which are being processed every month. And why is it stopping us to always look towards a price sensitivity as a main factor? Just looking at the price, do you think is it a wise thing or what can possibly go wrong in the matter of just evaluating a technology from the price perspective?
No, the price. Um, let me say that must respect the quality of what you have both, because otherwise, if the limit is price means that we don't respect what exactly is your request, no? In sense that it cannot compromise all the rest, the price. So what I say that the price must respect the quality of the product of the, 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 the material that you are buying.
So you think like just looking at the price can possibly compromise on the productivity aspect and the production aspect too?
No, of course not.
Are you selling a machine or a promise? The promise of ensuring the material safety, ensuring the hourly production rate, ensuring the finest quality, and you're asking a price for that. Am I right?
Yes.
So, on the contrary, If these three factors go missing, if only price is visible, is there a possible chance that the market can possibly take a wrong decision considering Italian technology is expensive and the indigenous technology is now affordable?
Now, this is the risk if your interface don't understand exactly. This is probably is our duty to let the client understand the value of what we are going to propose. But in any case, if we try to judge the machines or other kind of stuff just for the price, of course, is not the correct way, no? In sense that what you say before is what at the end we have to guarantee to the client when we sell the machines. So all performance that we have described, all performance that are written and agreed with the client must be respected. So the price have to, of course, take in consideration all this point that we have discussed together. So no, we cannot judge just by the price what we are going to buy.
When you say passion, passion has driven all of us this far. Is it the passion for the stone or passion for the technology?
It's passion for the technology that serve the stone field.
So our passion lies in serving the stone, means in serving the market.
Yeah.
So that means the value, what can I consider in this way? The value what Prometec is bringing to their clients selection or the choice is a promise to their clients that the stone is structurally and aesthetically in its best way possible. Can we consider it in this way?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
If it is best, then what is the further enhancement?
Yeah.
Any clear idea about your roadmap for India for the next 5 years?
A clear map I don't have because the world changing every day. So what I can say that of course we are here. We work strong in order to be present with the new solution and the advanced technologies that we can in order to serve our clients in the best way. For sure, together with Gimco, we are able to serve our client even after the machines is installed. So what I can say that is not just our mission is not just sell the lines, but follow the client during the whole life of the machines.
What do you think about what sort of role Gimco has to play and what sort of responsibility Gimco can take to drive this industry towards the future?
Gimco, together with us, have to understand before others which is the request of the market, and Prometec try to follow what Gimco suggests, in sense that together we must be in time with the request of the client. This is what I think is important for the future, and what is important that Gimco and Prometec have to cooperate. Indian market have to ask us what require, and with our know-how, our skills, our experience, we will try to satisfy what the Indian market request in order to get the best result as possible. And in this way, I'm sure that the Indian market can reach where he would like to reach.
Thanks a lot, Massimo.
Thank you to you.
It has been a great pleasure. And then pass our regards to everyone over there at Prometec. And I seriously look forward for the same passion to propel the complete stone industry globally, and especially, yes, show some inclination towards India more. And then let us try to develop more projects like StoneX, Milani, CMC.
Yeah.
Thanks again.